Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope that you all are fine at your home. Um, I'm your teacher here, and we are continuing our lesson in week 6 that will continue from 11th May to 15th May. And in the previous weeks, you have covered chapter number 1, Human Organ System, and today we will discuss its review exercise questions. And most of the questions you are already done in the previous lectures, the detailed questions, the objective questions, most of the things are done, but the mainly that I have decided these questions should be discussed again with you people for better understanding and to complete the review exercise. The methodology that I have used in this lesson is the audio-visual aids table. I have used the chart, table, diagrams, and there is a homework assignment for you people. The objectives of today's lesson is by the end of this lesson, students, you will be able to describe the difference between kidneys and lungs, and you will be able to explain the functions of different parts of the organ system, and you people will be able to describe the short question answers, or you will be able to understand actually how to answer or how precisely you have to answer for a short question. So let's start let's revise the previous ones that we have studied. Let's do the brainstorming. Students, recall in your mind that you have studied human organ system, and basically in this system, uh, you have studied, or in this chapter you have studied majorly two systems. The one is nervous system, and the other one is excretory system. Okay, if you remember, the very first topic of this system was about nervous system. Okay, in the nervous system you have studied about nerves and neurons, and you know that neurons are the basic structural and functional units of the nervous system. Proceeding nerve and neurons, you have moved towards brain, and you have you have studied in detail that how many parts of brain are there, and what are their appropriate functions, and what role they are playing in our body, and how the brain is connected with the spinal cord, what are the nerves involved in the spinal cord, and what are the nerves involved in the brain for carrying and delivering the messages all around the body. You have also studied some voluntary and involuntary actions. That is somehow very important, that you know and you need to understand that what body actions are voluntarily you perform and what body actions are involuntary. And in that example, you have also discussed the detailed mechanism of reflex action, and I hope that you are revising in your mind that you have studied reflex action, that is an involuntary action or a sudden response to a stimulus. With that, you have proceeded towards the excretory system, and the major organ that are involved in the excretory system are kidneys. And I am pretty sure that you are all clear about the kidneys and its associated structures, the right and left kidneys, the ureters, and then urinary bladder, and then urethra. And function of kidney, in that you have studied nephron. What is a nephron? Basic structural and functional unit of excretory system. Just like nerve or neurons were the basic structural and functional unit of nervous system, similar ways the nephrons are functional or structural unit of excretory system. And then you have studied some kidney stones as well, the malfunctioning of the kidneys. When the kidneys are not functioning properly, then you have studied what other options you could adopt for the proper functioning of kidneys. And the treatment of stones, you have studied simple removal by excessive use of water, and then lithotripsy, and then dialysis. So this was all about the chapter number 1, that is human organ system. My dear students, please come on your exercise, that is page number 17 or 18. Page number exercise starts from page number 16, and it proceeds towards 17 and then 18. Please see review question number 1.2. It's write the name of main parts of the following. If you are looking at your book page number 16, then you can see the question 1.2 is write down the name of the main parts of the following. So I am sure that you know what are the main parts of forebrain. Number two, what are the main parts of hindbrain? Now, what are the main parts of neurons and nephrons? So this was the very basic question that I know that you can answer it very well by yourself. Then question 1.3 was about you have to write the same similar way. You have to write their function. You have to write what is the function of forebrain, hindbrain, neuron, and nephron. So it's already discussed in details in previous lectures so many times, so you can do it by yourself. Next is question 1.4, that is short question answers. Okay, so my dear students, here I want to guide you that in your exam the short questions comes for 3 marks. Okay, so you need to keep it in your mind that what things should include in that and what things should not. Please focus on a short question statement. They have written give at least 3 examples of voluntary actions. Okay, so this question is they are just asking about 3 examples. You don't need to mention the definition of voluntary actions here. Okay, so just mention the name. Like one, I have mentioned drinking, eating, and running. These 3 actions are your voluntary actions that you do with your willpower or with your wish. Okay, that your conscious mind is involved in that action. And see question number 2, that is give at least 3 examples of involuntary actions. Involuntary actions that your conscious mind is not involved in, that you do it unconsciously. Like blinking of eyes, you are not controlling it by yourself. It's just happening. Heartbeat and then movement of intestine. There are so many other examples, students. By your own experience or by your own knowledge, you can mention those. But here you need to focus that it's only they are asking 3 examples, so you have to just write their names. Next question is in 1.4, that question number 3 is define the following. Now define, it's the definition. Okay, number 1 is the sensory neuron. Sensory neuron, it's all about that you have to mention that what are their exact definitions. Okay, so please focus on your book. Here you can see a paragraph that is the topic types of neurons. Okay, that might be page number 3. On the basis of their functions, neurons are of 3 types. Number 1, sensory, motor, and motor neurons and interneurons. Here the definition is lying. Okay, from here you have to pick. Sensory neurons carry nerve impulse from the sense organs. What are the sense organs? Ears, eyes, skin, tongue, and nose. You have studied in detail everything. Okay, so I am just mentioning here that from where you have to choose the material to answer the particular question. Okay, so this is the definition of sensory neurons. The next B part is motor neurons. So come next, motor neurons carry nerve impulse from central nervous system to effectors. And what are effectors? You have to mention in brackets muscles and glands. And these are the parts which actually respond. Okay. And the third one is interneurons. Interneurons are present in central nervous system. You are very clear that central nervous system is brain and spinal cord, and they form what is their function? They form a link between sensory and motor neuron. Okay, so from here you can pick the answer for the definition of these 3. The next question, it's a very important question and many times it comes in your exam. Okay, skin is considered as an excretory system. Why? Basically there are so many organs like other system as well, they are working as an excretory system. That as you have studied that excretion of solid waste and excretion of liquid waste, they both are happening in your body. uh, and the skin is also as considered as excretory system. The main reason is that it secretes water and salts during perspiration. Perspiration is like a sweating process. Okay, skin plays an important role in excretion through the production of sweat by the sweat glands. Many minerals, salts basically you can say, the water and salts are removed from your skin. You can observe your skin in the hot summer that the sweat is coming outside from your skin. That is actually the water, the extra water and the salts that are going to remove from your body through the skin. So that is why skin is considered as an excretory system. Question 1.5 is you have to differentiate between following factors. Okay, here are five parts with you, five or four parts. Number one part is receptors and effectors. For this, you can focus on page number 7 of your book, receptors and effectors. My dear, you have to mention whenever there is a difference going to be asked in the exam, the preferable writing should be in the tabular form. Okay, please write it in the columns like what are receptors and what are effectors. And if you know more than one differences between them, you can count on them 1, 2, 3. Okay, like receptors, what they are special cells, tissues or organs which detect a stimulus, and they are called as receptors. And effectors, what they are, the motor neurons that carry the nerve impulse to the different parts of the body which produce the response, they are called as effectors. And their examples are muscles and glands. Basically, receptors are those which are going to detect a stimulus is going to change or stimulate your body. Okay, body, your body has cells, your body has tissues, your body has different organs that going to respond for a stimulus. For example, piece of dust or something in the air that comes in front of your eyes, the organ, your eyes suddenly blink and you close your eyes, that is a response. Okay, that is going to it's going to detect a stimulus. And when you are going to touch a hot thing, you are going to move your finger back, that is also a going to detect a stimulus. So these are receptors present over there that actually detect that stimulus. And what when they effect, when they show the response, they becomes the effectors, and those are muscles and glands. The second difference that you have to tell is between neuron and nerve. What is neuron? It's a basic structural and functional unit of nervous system. And what is a nerve? Nerve is a cable-like bundle of axons that are enclosed in common sheath. It's the total language I have taken from your book on page number 2 and page number 3. It's a definition written over there. You need to select the data from there to answer this question. Okay. Neuron transmit messages in the form of electrochemical pulses or waves, which are called as nerve impulse. And the function of nerve is to transmit messages from one part of the body to other. Again, voluntary and involuntary actions, it's on page number 7. I have taken the material right from your book. These are the body actions which are performed under conscious control. These are voluntary actions. And examples like speaking, drinking, eating, clapping, these all are voluntary. And involuntary, which are performed without involvement or thinking process, which they are called as involuntary actions. Okay, like heartbeat, breathing, small intestine movement, and blinking of eyes. These are the examples of involuntary actions. So when you are going to write this question in your exam, please make a column, and on the one side define voluntary action, on the other side define involuntary action. On the one side write, mention the heading example, and then meanwhile in front of that mention the heading of involuntary actions example. This one is a very important question. It's the difference between kidneys and lungs. My dear, there are so many differences, but I have mentioned only four over here, because if you see the anatomy or the internal structure or the detailed functions, these both organs are performing differently. Okay, because they are the part of different systems. In here I have just mentioned the basic part. Kidneys are important organs for human body, and they are present in the form of pairs. Similarly, lungs are very important for the human body, and they are also present in the pairs. Okay. Kidney are the bean shaped. As you know, you have studied the detailed structures of the kidney. They are bean shaped and they are not spongy in the nature. They don't have pores on their surfaces basically. And the lungs, they are cone shaped structures and they are spongy in nature. Okay. The function of the basically kidney belongs to excretory system and lungs belongs to respiratory system. Both organs are working for a different organ system. The function of kidneys is to remove nitrogenous waste outside the body. Similar way or in a different way, sorry. The function of lung is to help in breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. The kidneys, when damaged, lead to chronic diseases like they result in sudden death. There are so many stones in the kidneys sometimes and they need to be removed. And the lungs, when they are damaged, they cause severe respiratory issues like asthma, lung cancer, and other bronchitis and other many respiratory diseases. Lithotripsy and dialysis is your next question. You have to differentiate between them. That material will be available for you on page number 12 and page number 13. Lithotripsy is basically the bombardment of shock waves to break the medium-sized stones in the kidney, and dialysis is the artificial method to clean the blood from nitrogenous waste. When the kidneys are not functioning properly, it is done through a machine which is called as dialyzer. So here you are done with your all short questions. So let's come towards the critical thinking question. That is the majorly focused slide over here. Uh, Here are some questions that you have to think by yourself and you can even answer by yourself as well. But I found it that it should be discussed with you. Why a motorcyclist is advised to wear the helmet? Think about it. Okay, there are so many reasons you can say for that, with reference to motorcycle, with reference to use of helmet, with reference to the road accidents. Okay, but here with reference to the nervous system, I we have to focus basically on the chapter content. Okay, a motorcyclist is advised to wear the helmet to protect his brain from severe injuries during the accidents. Okay, so this is the words you can write in this question. And the second statement is, if a person met an accident, see and understand the scenario. If a person met an accident in a car, when he was brought to the hospital, he didn't know his name, even his name. What would have happened to him? Relate your answer with reference to your nervous system. Okay, so just think about what you have studied in your brain parts. You have studied forebrain, you have studied hindbrain, you have studied midbrain, and in those parts you have actually studied that what main part or what main function is performed by the other part. Okay, so here the scenario is a person has met with an accident, and during that accident he is not going to remember his name. So please think about the part of the brain that is going to be involved in memory. So yes, you remember it's the part of forebrain, and that is cerebrum, that is actually involved in the function of memory control. So the reason that person was not able to remember even his name might be that he has suffered through the brain injuries during that accident, and particularly his brain, majorly forebrain, has been affected as its function is to control the memory. Please note these answers in your book or in your notebook or wherever you want to note it down for your ease. These are the exact answers for your guide. In question number 3, the table below shows the list of your daily activities. Write down the name of that part of the brain. Here in the bracket, they have provided you forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Which one is controlling this activity? Okay, so you can also make a list of other activities and you can search and you can even relate with your lesson that what part is going to control that activity. Okay, so let's see the first activity, that is sleeping. uh, Remember, sleeping was controlled by hindbrain. Which part of the hindbrain? Medulla oblongata. Brushing your teeth. Yes, you are going to do it with your intention. Okay, you are thinking about it. So remember, thinking was controlled by forebrain and the part majorly cerebrum. Taking the breakfast, again you are doing with your wish or with your will, you are thinking about it, and it's the part forebrain and the majorly hypothalamus, because the hypothalamus is actually the portion which controls your hunger and thirst. Next, fourth activity is balancing your diet. Hindbrain is going to balance your body. Uh, the major part is cerebellum. Taking deep breath. It's hindbrain again, because medulla oblongata is the part which controls the breathing process. So these were the critical thinking questions. You please note it down. Note down the answers with you, and here is the home assignment for you. You have to prepare the test of chapter number 1. Please practice all the long and short questions, and all the diagrams including labeling that you have studied, that you have done in your assignments earlier in very detail, in a very good way. So please practice it again and again so that you can perform very well in your test. Okay. Good luck, students, for the test. Stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. Allah Hafiz.